is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Women empower women. We're daughters, wives, sisters, and mothers making strides in our own lives. We're women in sports, and what matters to you matters to us. Let's talk about it all on The Playmaker. Here's your host, Nikki Harrison.
Welcome to The Playmaker. I'm your host, Nikki Harrison, and I've got two more Playmakers to talk to today. I'm so excited. I've got Katie Stucky, Dallas Cowboys Director of Corporate Sponsorship. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And no stranger to DallasCowboys.com, Lindsay Draper, our producer, content producer, and reporter. And you're on the other side. You're now being asked the question.
This is not, I'm told Nikki, I'm bringing her into this because she is just as much a playmaker. So you have to get in this too.
Yes.
All right. Okay, well, the reason I wanted the two of you, because you both have demanding jobs. I mean, Director of Corporate Sponsorships. First, explain what that is, quickly.
Sure, yes. Oh, quickly. So,
you don't have to do it quickly. Take your time.
No, it's good. So Director of Corporate Sponsorship is essentially, I oversee a team who really takes care of all of our corporate partners. So making sure that they're happy, the AT&Ts, the Pepsi, Dr. Peppers of the world, really making sure that they're happy and satisfied with everything they're receiving through our partnership with the Cowboys.
And
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
No easy feat.
No, it's not. We have phenomenal teams.
Well, both of you have, like I said, demanding jobs, and you both are mothers. You have young little ones. Your oldest is 3.5.
3.5.
How?
Turns 4 in February. I know.
Already.
It makes me cry. I know. She's getting so big.
And yours, too.
He's almost 2.
Oh.
Yeah, he's one. For my coworkers who don't have kids, I say like 1.5. But for y'all, I'll say 20 months.
Yeah.
Because you understand.
We get
the
it.
You know what
yes,
that means.
Yes,
Exactly.
almost 2. Yeah, it's crazy. It flies.
It flies
Well,
by.
it truly is a balancing act, trying to manage life, motherhood, marriage, career. In a nutshell, how do you do it?
You have 2, so you're going first.
I do. Well, you just wait for the second. It's a whirlwind. So it is, I don't think anyone has it figured out. I certainly don't have it figured out. You really just try and do your best every day. And I think why I'm just so honored to be here today and to just chat with both of you and be in your company is because, we're all figuring out together as mothers, as females, in the sports industry or just in the working industry in general. And so, it's you try and do your best day by day and, just keep afloat, really. Make sure that they're happy, that you're happy, and just making sure that you can do what you've got to do every day.
For sure.
I would say this same thing, and it's might be a big, revelation to some people, but the secret is there is no balancing act. I have a saying that I kind of rely on, and it's wherever you are, be all there.
Yeah.
And sometimes
So
it's
true.
a lot of hours in this building, and you've got to put yourself in it fully here and dedicate, your time to what you're doing and make yourself proud, make the babies proud. And then when you're home, try to leave it here. And Nikki has a beautiful desk overlooking outside. I've spent many hours at her desk talking about this, and there's just so much to navigate all the time. You never truly figure it all out. If that makes sense. Like you said, you keep going, but wherever you are, just bloom where you're planted and do your best wherever you are.
Let me ask you guys this. So to your point, you said when you're here, you're here. Well, with you guys' jobs, I mean, when you're here at the Dallas Cowboys, you have to be locked in. And when you're home with family, you have to be locked in. But for me, I can't unlock being mom. I'm mom all the time. So when you leave work at work, how do you leave work at work when you're at home? Do you say, okay, no checking emails for, I don't know, an hour or 30 minutes? Do you guys do things like that?
I do. I definitely try to. So I will, when I leave the office, I can be on the phone, take calls on my way home, but once I'm home, it's the girls. It's time for the girls. And so really try and put the phone aside, play with them, go outside, read books, take baths, do the whole routine.
Yes.
And then, put them down for bed. And that's really my time with the girls. And I really try and keep that, constant as much as possible. And then once they're down, if I need to get back on, online and work some more and catch up, then that's the time that I do it once they're asleep already.
Same for you.
I'm getting better at that.
Okay.
It's an adjustment. It's hard.
But when
It
the phone
is.
rings and you see it's someone important, you want to get that. But I am good now about doing it on the way home as well, because when you get home, you want to make dinner and talk with your husband and like decompress. But when your husband's a huge Cowboys fan, you know, sometimes it goes hand in hand. There he is. Shouts out to Evan. Loves the Cowboys, loves talking Cowboys all the time. So it's no problem. We take it home. There we are at the preseason game this year. It's so funny when they're that age. Like, all he wanted to do was go out and warm up with the players. Like,
Of course
trying
he
to
did.
run on the field, and I'm like, we cannot go across the yellow line, and he doesn't know why. So
Because in his mind, he's
Oh
a
my
player.
gosh, look. So
he's got his
cute.
jersey on. He's like, I'm playing. Like, they're stretching. They need me out there.
That's
so
right.
yeah, that is the life right now.
Well, you know, it's interesting because when they get older, so Julie, almost 4, my oldest, she is very knowledgeable about who the Cowboys are, and you know that mommy's working and at the Star here. She's been here multiple times. She calls it, you know, where the Cowboys are. It's going to go see the Cowboys. But so when they are older and they start to talk, you can really reason with them and say, you know, well, mommy has to go be with the Cowboys today because they're playing this weekend. And yes, there are my girls there too. And so, you know,
adorable.
just as they get older, you know, they're really becoming a part of the whole Cowboys family, which tends to make it easier because they start to understand.
That's great.
So it's really nice.
You being a Baylor grad, you KU grad.
Yes. Go Big 12.
Yes.
Career was always front of mind, but was it always a career in sports?
Not necessarily for me. I knew when I graduated, I had a degree in communications, and I did that on purpose. I really found my niche, I felt like, and I wanted to keep it open. But I knew I wanted to be in entertainment of some sort.
Okay.
And then really, out of college, got my foot in the door with an internship at another NFL team, and fell in love right then and there with sponsorships, with the sports industry, the NFL, and knew there was no turning back for me.
It's like an entertainment business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so fun all the time. I always knew I wanted to do sports. I honestly didn't know I wanted to be on camera. Journalism was always the plan for me, and writing, and growing up a coach's daughter, and both my parents played college sports, so
And
it's
you
been
were
ingrained.
an athlete in high school.
Basketball, you know,
Yes.
way back when. Can we build a gym here at the Star? That's what I need. I need pickup basketball, like back in my veins. But yeah, always knew it would be sports, but it's turned out to be so much more than that. Like, I do feel like with the Cowboys, you're at the forefront of so many things beyond football.
Absolutely.
It's always something going on. Like,
Right.
Wingstop is parked outside today.
Yes.
And we're going to do
Yes.
something huge with Wingstop out there today. So it's just crazy.
Well, both of you have spouses who also have demanding jobs. What is your support system like? Do you have, you know, extended family that helps? How do you guys make that work?
Yeah, well, so my husband travels a lot for work, and so of
What
course,
does he do?
when he he is actually employed with the Dallas Cowboys as well. Yes,
They're so cute.
oh
cute.
gosh,
Oh,
thank
so
you,
cute.
thank you. Yes, he's a scout, so out on the road quite a bit. But you know, I'm so fortunate and so thankful. I have an amazing extended kind of set of hands, if you will. My in-laws live here, my sister, my brother and sister-in-law, and then my parents. They come down at the drop of a hat if there's anything that we need. So really, I could not do this job without them. And I tell them that. I try to remind them that all the time. But really, they help me make my job a career and my dreams of being in this role a success. So it's could not do it without them. Certainly not with 2. With 1, I could try my best, but with 2, no way.
Right?
2 on 1. No,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Like, my first thought is family. Having the in-laws as well as my parents here, they would do anything, like you said, at the drop of a hat to be around, but also my sister, my brother, keeping up with them. And I just had a best friend text me on my way down here just to reach out and say, you're doing such a good job. We see how hard you're working. And I've realized so much how important it is to have people that understand what this job entails. I
Yes.
mean, from August to January, hopefully February,
That's right.
we just go off the map, really in July. And having your family and siblings and a couple friends that really understand what you're doing, that type of support, like, hey, you don't have to answer, but we love you.
Yes.
That just means everything to me.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Now, Katie, you talked about just yesterday what it was like being up for promotion, and being pregnant with your second.
Yes.
All at the same time.
All at the same time.
And you hadn't even shared the news that you were pregnant with your second.
I hadn't. So I was up, yes, for the promotion and had been, going through the whole process there, and certainly, really nerve-wracking. This was my dream. This was my goal of what I wanted to do with my career. And it was so interesting that the day that I actually sat down and heard the great news that I was going to become the director of corporate partnership marketing, that I also, in the same week, then found out I was pregnant with my second. And so it was just a whirlwind of emotions.
Yes.
And, trying to understand, how am I going to do all of this? How am I going to balance this, knowing that, my next year or so is going to completely change once again, and, just try to put my best foot forward and do as best as I could, for that year.
And it can be a little scary because you wonder, am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to have the career that I want and still have the family that I want? And what's interesting is that's not something that men have to think about.
No, it's not.
No, it's really not. And the expectations here are high.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
We don't even have to hide that. I mean, the Jones family demands excellence, and we bring it. That's why it works. But that always, you need to do more. You need to do better. That's always there too.
It's interesting. When I decided, okay, I'm gonna go for this role and go for this promotion, I had folks that were close to me, family, friends, that said, you can't do that. There's no way you can do that. That's too demanding. If you want to have a family. And it was some of those that maybe just didn't really understand my true passions, and that, yes, I can do this. And so that actually just motivated me even more to say, no, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. And, again, thanks to my family and my husband for supporting me along the way. That
they saw you as a playmaker.
You do it, seriously, you do it though with so much grace. Like, you never seem stressed, and when I run into you at lunch, you always look like this. I mean, like, you nailed it. It's a good thing you went for it.
Well,
you nailed it.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say, being a people manager, does being a mom help with that? Like, your mom hat never goes off.
You should ask my team. But yes, I think it does. Now I feel like, gosh, I have 11 on my team, and so I feel like, I have 13 kids now, that I just really care about all of them. And sometimes it's like, okay, I'm putting my mom hat on. I'm just making sure that you've got everything set for the game and what you've got going on, and making sure that everything's taken care of. But sometimes in a good way, and maybe sometimes in a
you mean well.
Overbearing way. I do.
All
I
the
mean
time.
well all the time. So yeah.
Now, Lindsay. Okay, so Katie, with your husband being a scout, both of you know the intricacies of what football season is and what it brings.
Yes.
Your husband's in a totally different field, and he works a lot.
Yes.
What is it like? What's your dynamic like? Since, football season is a whole horse of a different color.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So my husband's a military pilot, and he flies for American as well. So it's a busy job. The dynamic is really, how can we fit the schedule around Sundays so he's home on Sundays, can use those tickets, get to the club a little early, go to the game. Honestly, what's so funny, guys, is it's ever evolving. And I literally, in my spare time, just earlier wrote a poem saying I'm sorry, because I snapped. I was like, look, I really wanted to go to this thing Wednesday night, but you're going to be gone. And so I wrote him a poem saying I'm sorry. Like, nobody around here is perfect. I'm not even going to pretend. It's hard. It's hard. Very hard when you're both working, and then the evenings you want to do stuff, and then people are traveling and gone, and it really is a sacrifice. I think remembering, like, hey, I'm doing this because I love it and because I love you guys, and then reminding yourself that's why they're doing it too. He's on the road, he's gone, you got the two, but you're like, he loves us, that's why he's doing it.
Absolutely.
That keeps me going.
Absolutely.
I know your faith also
100%.
keeps you going. Talk about what that means to you.
Oh, it means it's everything. I mean, understanding, and I think this will be only my 6th season. What season is this for you?
This is my 8th.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Love
So
it.
8th season, 6th season. I just learned this past off season what it means to give yourself grace and to not beat yourself up and pull everything you do into question, and just to say, you know what, it's okay. Like, there's no reason to judge yourself for that. Let's just be okay with that and move on. Hey, this went wrong. That's okay. Hey, you messed up on a show on air in front of everyone. You know what?
okay.
It's going to be okay. And that part of my faith has really stepped into the workplace and changed the way that I'm able to be here. And so when I go home, I'm just much more calm because everything that we do, it's not going to be perfect.
That's right.
We know that with
beautiful.
everything
Yeah.
else, right? Like our relationships aren't perfect, life isn't, but we put a huge standard on ourselves here. We got to give ourselves grace in the workplace.
Absolutely. That brings me to this question. Do you guys agree or disagree that there's still judgment placed on mothers who choose to go far in their careers and choose to have a family? Because it's a choice. We're making this choice to do this.
You know, I think it's an interesting question. I think that at times, yes, there still is. You know, we're not perfect, and so I think there is. But I think more than ever, what I have seen, just as I'm a relatively new mom, is just other women supporting women, which is amazing and all that we can ask for. And, you know, for me personally, it's looking up to some of the other mothers and working women in our organization. Some of the partners that I work with, you know, I've reached out to a number of them to ask and say, hey, how do you do it? You have 3.
Right.
Some of our lovely ladies now, but, you know, how do you make it happen? And, you know, you just really have to lean on each other for support. And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, we all want each other to be really successful and to do well. And that helps me personally get through, and hopefully it helps everyone else too.
And I would say I hope that it's changing.
Yes,
I hope
absolutely.
that the narrative
I think it
is
is.
different than
Right.
it was 5-10 years ago. And
Absolutely.
even having coworkers like Nikki, your kids are how old now?
12 and 8.
12 and 8. and you're here every day. I know,
know.
they grow so fast, but you're here every day. You come in. So that encourages me knowing, okay, Nikki's here doing it. Like,
Absolutely.
she is doing it. Katie, she just had her second. That means I can do it.
You
like
can
she's
do it.
got
Yes.
way
You
more on
can
her
do it,
plate
girl.
than me,
You
so
can.
I can do
No,
it.
you
And then of course Charlotte, you know, as our
absolutely.
example, she is. We work for a family, and they're so family oriented, and they understand. And there's been things that happen in this organization, personal problems and death in the families that have happened with our coworkers, and the Jones family goes above and beyond, just
Above
to
and
show
beyond.
love and support. And you don't see that, you know, that's not broadcast everywhere, but
Right.
the family.
And it's like the organization just does a whole just big old
Yeah,
hug.
absolutely.
You know?
we are a family.
We are,
And that encourages me a lot.
Definitely. Now, this is one thing I want to talk about. It's hard to believe, first of all, that the middle of the season is almost here. I mean, can you believe that?
No, absolutely not.
It is flying by. So we're going full steam ahead. Let's talk about mom guilt. Is that
Oh,
Oh, look at the time.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's real.
It's real.
I mean, and I mean, I can speak for myself. With mine being 12 and 8, you know, you feel bad if you can't make that little dance recital, but you do everything you can to get there. But sometimes you can't. How do you guys handle it?
For me, I actually just kind of worked through this recently with someone who kind of mentors me and helps me through these things. And he said, is it something that you, like you say, missing the recital, is it something that you did on purpose and you did it wrong? If you did and you need to go apologize, that's one thing. But if you did not do that, you didn't miss the recital on purpose, you need to get the scissors out and cut the guilt, cut the shame, cut the worries, and cut them loose.
Love
Like, it's
that.
so much easier said than done, but if you didn't do it on purpose, you gotta let it go. Like, I didn't mean to get home at 9:30 last night. I had stuff to do, but I can't be guilty about it. Like, why wear that around?
Absolutely.
Right.
Cut it loose.
I love that you
I
have
love
a
that.
mentor.
Yes.
Girl, we need him.
We do. Cut it
Gotta keep
loose.
this brain straight. Got a lot going on. Yes.
That is fabulous. What about you?
Gosh, well, I love that. Cut it loose. I'm going to start using that.
Definitely.
You know, it's real. It's there, and I think that you know you try and do what you can. For me, it is. I have a lot of mom guilt around. Again, I have such a large team here, and you know, there's always something going on, right, within the organization, on our team. And so for me, it really is. You know, I can't be everywhere at once, and so
We
realizing
wish we could clone ourselves.
Of course, yes, I
yeah.
wish I, yes. And so really just making smart choices and prioritizing my time, both here at work, but then also at home and with, you know, the girls, but my husband and my family, and really just making smart choices on where to be and when. tries to help alleviate some of that mom guilt. a little bit.
Planning ahead.
Yes.
Just having a plan.
Oh my gosh,
That helps
since
a lot.
becoming a mom, like it has been like you have to plan ahead. I don't
Absolutely.
know how moms do it if you don't.
Oh yeah.
That planner in your purse is real.
Yes.
The schedule is real. Okay, let's check this off.
Color coordinated.
Yes.
All the whole
the
bit.
dry erase board by
Yes.
the garage door, yes.
Now, as we wrap, I want to ask you both this. Looking at where the two of you are in your careers and with your family life, what have you learned about yourself today?
Gosh, I would say that I'm stronger than I ever thought I was. That really, you can get down on certain situations and down on yourself, and but really it's about thinking positive, and the more positive that you think in any scenario, positive thoughts produce positive results, and I'm a firm believer of that. And so I've just learned that my positivity. It extends outward to my
Yes, it
girls,
does.
to my family, to the team, and I think that that really is something that I've learned, that with that positivity, I'm a stronger person, and that I can do it, and I can do the role, and I can have 2 kids and maybe more. I don't know, but we'll see from there.
Literally, I need to say nothing more. That is exactly the words I would say, is that I've learned I'm so much more resilient than I thought, and that starts right here.
Yes.
It so much starts with your brain and the way that you think. Gosh, I was so pregnant in that photo.
So cute, so cute.
So
It
fabulous.
starts with how you think, and that positivity impacts your body and the way your body functions and the way that you carry yourself and the way you talk to people. So starting from the inside out, and I'm about to pull my reporter card and ask you.
Yes.
I'm about to ask you, Nikki,
Yes.
what have you learned about yourself? You've been here how many years?
This is my 13th season.
Wow. Wow.
What I've learned about myself is the older I've gotten, the more and more my parents have been right.
Love.
Yes.
Retweet that, by the way.
Seriously, because of course, when we're younger, we think, oh, I know everything, and as I'm just getting older and seeing my own children develop into young people, they're right all the time.
I know.
It is just
All
like,
the time.
But you
That's
know
why
what-
we call him so much.
But you know what
Yes.
gets me through is that one day Julie's going to be saying that.
That's right.
So it's going to come back to
gonna
us.
back to us.
And yes,
That's right. Well, ladies, thank you
This was so refreshing.
This was so great.
So fun.
Yes.
Thank you.
y'all.
I love working with y'all.
We love working with you.
Likewise.
Okay, I'm done.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back next week with some more Playmakers.